Welcome to Q&A number 13 here at the Wrestling Unlimited YouTube channel and the Facebook group page, as well as the World Promo Wrestling Facebook page and YouTube channel. We are cross-promoting for the time being. If you want your questions answered in a future Q&A video, go to the status that I post on both group pages and respond with your questions. Let's get started. Got some good ones. Darren Hanks, how bad of a hole is Kevin Owens in right now? Bad. The fact that the only thing that they can have him do is wrestle Cesaro, who, by the way, has not been booked properly, as well as Kevin Owens. So in theory, the feud works perfectly because none of them are being booked properly. But at the same time, you know, you really had something going with Owens when you immediately skyrocketed him to the top and had him face Cena. And, fortunately, it was all for nothing. Raymond Johnson, do you think Cena will lose the U.S. title to Cesaro and win the heavyweight title from Rollins? I'll go more towards the lose the U.S. title to Cesaro than I will the world title from Rollins. You know, at this time, I don't know what they're doing with Cena because Cena's got a busted nose. I don't know what they're doing with Cesaro, and I don't know what they're doing with Rollins, honestly. You know, they're teasing a Cena-Rollins match at SummerSlam. I don't even know if it's official yet. I mean, everything about this just doesn't make sense. Is it possible WWE may throw a curveball and have Brock beat Taker again? You know, I don't think it's a curveball. I think it's actually going to happen. And that's sad because you really don't want The Undertaker's career to end with another loss to Brock Lesnar, especially at a pay-per-view like SummerSlam. Like, you couldn't have waited until WrestleMania 32, or hell, had it at WrestleMania 31. A year after the streak breaks, and instead of wasting Bray Wyatt with the match against The Undertaker, you could have did the match that should have happened, which was Brock Taker 2. Stupid. What else does he ask? How awesome would it be to have, if WWE 2K16 had an Owen Hart package, Owen Hart, Blue Blazer, and the King of Hearts? Be pretty cool, but I wouldn't really get the point of it. Like, why honor Owen Hart with a video game package about him? You know, I think that he should have DVDs, and he should have the Hall of Fame spot. You know, the video game, it's not really a big tribute to him. Let me check to see if he has any other questions. If not, I can move on to Walter Main, and I'll move on to Walter Main. Will John Cena ever say, "I quit"? He will in his promos, but he won't during a match. Will Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker be a good match? I'm sorry. Whoa, sorry. Will Brock Lesnar versus Undertaker be a gimmick match, buried alive, or casket? No. It doesn't need to be. I don't want to see it like that. I really don't. It doesn't really need to be. It needs to be two guys locking horns one-on-one with no other stupid bullshit on the side. When and if will Batista return? Apparently, rumors are swirling that he's going to return at SummerSlam. I've heard some rumors about that, but I don't really want to see a Batista return. You know, and if he does, where are you really going to put him? You know, you can have him feud with, you know, Seth Rollins, but I don't think that works all that well unless you had Rollins go over. So really, it could work. I don't want to see it. I didn't want to see him return the first time. Why would I want to see him return the second? Alright, what was the most surprising thing you've seen on WWE television or a pay-per-view? Some of the instances where fans ran in the ring I thought were pretty radical and pretty cool. Especially at WrestleMania 23, I believe, when it was Cena versus Michaels. Yeah, 23. Where the guy ran into the ring right after they made the ring introductions. I thought that was pretty cool. Thought that was pretty funny, too. Most surprising thing I've seen on WWE TV? A lot of their booking. You know, and it's not surprising in a bad way or surprising in a good way. It's just surprising when I go back and watch it and I'm like, why did they do that? You know, a lot of their booking, I don't mean to sound like a smartass, but it's the truth. You know, a lot of WWE's booking in their history has been bad. A lot of it has been good. And there's that little patch in the middle that's kind of been surprising. Surprising in bad ways, surprising in good ways, and just surprising in the sense that it freaking surprised me. So, yeah, a lot of their booking is some of the most surprising things that I've seen on WWE television. Oh, was the Hurricane a real superhero? You're goddamn right he was. Anyone who thinks that the Hurricane wasn't a real superhero is an idiot. The Hurricane was the only guy I know who could actually fly in the ring. Now, granted, it was during Royal Rumble matches when he was being eliminated, but come on! Give me that one. The Hurricane was a real superhero, damn it. If Lance Cade had his life together, oh my god, how far could he have gone in the WWE? Not far at all. I never liked Lance Cade, never got behind Lance Cade, thought he was really boring, thought he was really stale and bland. I thought that he was really generic and basic. You know, he had the look, but he didn't have the personality. You gotta have the personality. Not saying that a lot of these people in the WWE have personality today, but Lance Cade had none. Again, very bland, very stale, very boring. You know, it's really sad and tragic the way his life ended, the way it did. But at the same time, I don't think he would have gotten far in the WWE at all. He was a glorified tag team wrestler, in my opinion. Why do so many people in the WWE suddenly do super kicks? Great question. Lack of originality. Lack of creativity. That's pretty much why. You know, now I see every match. It's like every match with Dolph Ziggler, there's a super kick. Every match with Rusev, there's a super kick. Every match with, hell, even Cena does some super kicks once in a while. You know, every match has a super kick. There's a lack of originality. There's a lack of creativity. It's ridiculous. A lot of these movesets are getting stale because you just use the same moves over and over and over again. You know, it's the 5 moves of doom with Cena, and it's, you know, the 5 moves of doom with Randy Orton when you have the clothesline and then the flip and then the backbreaker, the DDT, and the RKO. That's there's 5 moves of doom right there. I don't get why Cena gets all the hate for the 5 moves of doom when everyone freaking has them. But in terms of the super kick, I don't know, honestly. I don't know. I missed a Raymond Johnson question, I think. Yeah, I'm sorry, Ray, I missed this question. Is Taker face or heel, and where does Brock stand on the heel-face thing since he's getting cheers now? Taker's technically the heel, even though everyone's cheering him. I mean, are you really going to boo Taker? Taker is Taker. You're not going to fucking boo him. And the thing with Brock is this is another reason why I don't like this match. Because you did all this to turn Brock babyface. And now you're going to flip him back to the reason why he was the top heel in the WWE back at WrestleMania 30. I think it's stupid. That's why this match should have taken place at WrestleMania 31, because at the time Brock was still being built up as a heel, or at least attempted to be booked up as a heel. And Roman was the one that was tempted, well, not tempted, sorry, the one that was actually trying to be built up as a babyface. I found that ridiculous. Like I said, the match should have happened at WrestleMania 31. I'm upset that it's happening at SummerSlam. Maybe it's the one match that SummerSlam needs to get it off the ground, but I still don't want to see it. It's ridiculous in my opinion. Are there any more Walter Main questions? No, I will flip it to Alec Costoval, who will finish the Q&A for, once again. Same people ask questions, guys. I mean, I'd like it, but I gotta have more. There's 450 people in this group, and I get questions from 4 people. Just doesn't work. I'm sorry. Alec Costoval finishes it off. Whose nose looks worse, Cena's after Raw or Wade Barrett's? Wade Barrett's, because he lives with his nose every day in his life. Cena has a broken nose one time. Wade Barrett has that nose 365 days a year for his entire life. So, easily Wade Barrett's. Why is the Terminator in 2K16? Great question. Great question. So you're promoting Terminator, you know, who will eventually probably come out with a video game, in your own video game, instead of trying to be original with what you do in your video game. It's a little stupid to me. Does WWE not even care about the heel-face thing? Jesus Christ, lost my phone almost. Does WWE not care about the heel-face thing anymore? I know there's some gray area, but it seems there's too much gray. Really good question. It seems that the WWE has kind of phased out the heel-face thing, because now everybody either gets cheered when they're not supposed to, or everyone gets booed when they're not supposed to. It's like Cena. You know, being built up as a top babyface for the past 10 years. Yet he's treated like the heel because he gets booed everywhere he goes. They've really phased out the face-heel thing. Because so many bad guys that are supposed to be heels are getting cheered. And so many good guys that are supposed to be faces are getting booed. And it's like they allow it. They don't do anything to try and change it. They just ignore it and let it happen. And I find that stupid. It needs to be heels and faces. There can't just be an entire roster where you don't know who they are or what they are. Ridiculous. Is there a gimmick that hasn't been done in WWE? If so, what is it? And if you had to create 3 new gimmicks for 3 current wrestlers, what would they be and why? I'll go to that second part first. I will give Cena any gimmick instead of the one he has now. Because all this babyface gimmick is doing is making him being treated like a heel. Top babyface for 10 years being booed by everyone in the crowd does not make you a top babyface. It makes you a top heel. Very simple. In terms of some other ones, like maybe on the undercard, Stardust. And I mean no disrespect to Dusty Rhodes. God rest his soul. But when he told Cody to continue doing what you're doing and to finish what you started, I didn't think that was the right move. Because honestly, Stardust is not what Cody Rhodes is good at. Cody Rhodes is good at being himself. And I think that he should be himself. You know, the Stardust thing at the time seemed cool. It has now gotten bland. To me. I think that the Stardust thing should be dropped sooner rather than later. In terms of a third one, The New Day. A little too stereotypical. It's expected in today's WWE, but maybe just a little too stereotypical. Especially, do you hear the way Big E talks? That's not his natural voice. I've heard his natural voice. The guy sounds like a freaking black preacher. He does. I'm sorry. It's more stereotypical BS in the WWE. Is there a gimmick that hasn't been done in WWE? A Terminator type gimmick? I mean, like an actual, like a heel superhero or like a tweener superhero, like a Wolverine kind of thing. You know, there's a lot of gimmicks that they could do, but none that come to the top of my head, honestly. So in terms of is there a gimmick that hasn't been done, I kind of have to lean on the no side. Almost every gimmick that you could imagine has been done. And if you guys have any gimmicks that you would like to see, please leave them in the comments below or message me privately and talk to me about it. I'll gladly listen because honestly, on the top of my head, I can't think of one. Q&A number 14 will take place on Friday, and Q&A number 15 will take place on Tuesday, so get ready to ask questions for those. Thanks for the questions for this one. Glad to do these Q&As as always. I'm sorry that it came a week late, but it still happened on a Tuesday, so screw you to all you haters out there. Like I said, thank you. Have a nice night.